put it on his lips, he was totally fine. I put it on my nips, thought I was going to claw my boobs off. What's up guys? Welcome back. So I just did a giant roundup of my lip glosses, and I mentioned in the tiniest little moment in the beginning of the video, I said, you know, these are almost 50 lip glosses, and this does not include my lip balms. And then I was like, if you guys want a lip balm video, like, let me know. I couldn't believe how many people wanted a lip balm video. And then I put it to my Instagram and I was like, do you guys want me to round up my lip balms in my next video or my favorite candles? And overwhelmingly, people want to hear about lip balms. And I was like, all right, that's easy for me. So I have in front of me my whole lip balm collection, and it is by no means as large as the lip gloss collection. And that is for one very large reason, and that is that most lip glosses would have to try really, really hard to offend me. I really love just about every lip gloss I've ever tried. And in the beginning of that video, I gave the disclaimer that I couldn't pick a favorite. I couldn't even pick 5 favorites. That's not the case with lip balms. Not only are there worst and best lip balms, but I do actually have a favorite. So I have tried a lot of lip balms. I went around kind of hunting around in my house to make sure that I could grab as many of them as I still have on hand, because when one kind of wrongs me, I just get rid of it. I don't really feel the need to keep them around the way that I keep makeup that wrongs me around for the sake of comparison. So these are just the ones that I have and have been entertaining lately for my collection. So we'll start first is the worst kind of thing. And that distinction belongs to this. It's something that I don't even think I've ever mentioned on my channel. And this is the Wonder Lip by Root Pretty. They sent this to me, very sweet of them to do so. I have made an effort to make this work, but when it comes to clean beauty, which is what Root Pretty really fortes in, you just are trying to get past the compromise of it all. And this is just, it's 100% compromise. It's gritty because it has, I think, calendula in it, some kind of wax in it that doesn't break down as quickly as all the other oils in it do. And so it stays kind of grainy. It says, Wonder Lip Repair and Condition Lip Balm is deeply hydrating lip balm that protects and restores dry lips, leaving them as soft and supple as ever. The texture is formulated to be hard, so it can deeply coat your lips. Scrape a small amount out of the jar, warm it up between your fingers, and apply generously to the lips as needed. Root Pretty, their skincare leaves a lot to be desired in my experience, because a lot of it is like that, where it's pick it up, warm it up between your fingers, pull out a rag to wipe this off your face. There's just a lot of compromise in the formulas to me. And for some people that's fine. They would rather have something that is just like clean, clean, clean. And the inconvenience of just getting it to perform is not really that big of a deal. But if I'm having to dig something out, warm it up, it's still gritty, it won't break down, and it doesn't really nourish my lips that well. Even in this gigantic container, I mean, it's a big container for a lip balm, it's just not worth it to me. The next one that I actually tried really recently, so I go to Milk and Honey Spa for my facials and my massages. I love Milk and Honey. And when I would get done getting a facial, they would always put this really lovely kind of sweet plumping balm on my lips, and I was like, what is that? They said it is the Cosmetics Enhanced Lip Plumping Mask. So I guess this isn't technically a lip balm, but I mean, it's a lip balm. They just call it a lip plumping mask. You know, it comes out clear. I don't know, it's like a shiny, thin lip balm, but when it goes on, it doesn't actually have the viscosity that you would expect it to, and it doesn't give me any kind of long-term nourishing effects. And when I put it on, I feel like it actually dries my lips out over time, and I don't know why. I think it's not that I'm licking it off or anything like that. It does taste nice, but it never sinks in. It just sits on top of my lips. I don't really feel like it does that good of a job of plumping, whereas this does a fantastic job of plumping. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, this, I really had such high hopes for it, because whenever they put it on, I think it's just the spa effect. You know, you get out of a facial and you feel incredible. You're like, well, it must have been that thing they put on my lips as the last step. No, it was the entire facial. That was what made you feel so great. It was not, you know, just the last product that they put on. So that doesn't go for everything. I bought the OC Red Algae Mask because they used it on me at Milk and Honey, and never looked back. That is such a good mask, and I'm almost done with it, and I will repurchase it. I think it is so lovely. There's a reason that it sells out all the time, but this was unfortunately really disappointing. So while this is not a lip balm, I feel like it is worth mentioning, especially as we just talked about a plumper. This isn't necessarily like a favorite or an unfavorite. I feel like I need to review it for you guys. So this is the Beauty Bio, the Pout Sparkling Rosé Volumizing Lip Serum, and it is a plumper that works with capsaicin. I couldn't find that word. I think it's capsaicin that actually causes the plumping. So while I do really like this and I'm gonna continue using it, I think that it does a really good job of plumping my lips. Just be aware that it is one of the ones that works like with hot peppers. And so if you get it anywhere other than your lips, it's gonna turn that part of your skin red probably. And if you don't get it on your lips perfectly, it will turn part of your lips red. So it's kind of a put it on, wipe it off later kind of thing. It's not like a gloss that you do without a mirror that you apply throughout the day. So that's why it's kind of like not in a category. Okay, next, gonna talk about the Thrive lip balms in general. So I feel like what they did, I don't know if this to be true, but you know, it's like they kind of took their original gloss formula, took all the color and glitter out of it, and ta-da, we have a lip balm. They have a lot of really nourishing products. I'm obsessed with their new hand cream, by the way. I've never been a hand cream person before 2020, but now I'm a hand cream person. There are some really beautiful nourishing products in their collection, but their whole line is vegan, and something that will come up again and again in lip formulas is that staying power sometimes hinges on non-vegan ingredients, usually something like lanolin or beeswax. And when you leave those out of a formula, unless, I don't know, I am not a chemist, I'm not a formulator, I don't know that much about this stuff, but most of the time, if you don't have those products, if it is a vegan formula, a lip balm is just gonna have a harder time staying on your lips long enough to nourish them in any kind of consequential way. I think we've all experienced the frustration of a lip balm that seems to work but wears off too quickly. It kind of has to have both. It has to be both nourishing and like really sink in. Like I talked about how this doesn't really sink in. It just kind of sits on top of my lips, so what's the point? It has to do that, but it also needs to have enough of like a waterproofness to it that it sticks around long enough. Like if you're actually putting a lip balm on because you're out there in cold weather or something and it's just wearing off constantly, then what's the point? So anyway, the Thrive lip balms / clear lip glosses, really, they do have that waterproofness to them, and they are nourishing. I have worn this one. This is the new pumpkin spice one. I have worn this to bed and I feel like it works really well. The only thing that I don't like about this is the same thing that I don't like about a lot of their lip glosses, is that I can taste them. They have a taste to them that is not like, it's not my favorite, but that is by no means a reason for it to be a dud product. It does really work, and this actually has spices in it. It's all natural. It's not like pumpkin spice phony baloney. It doesn't like smell like a candle or something. It's like, it smells like pumpkin pie spice, but also sweet. It's really lovely. I do actually like the pumpkin spice latte version better than the clear because it's just a pleasure to use, and it does stick around. So it is really nice. It's just not my favorite lip balm. It's just a really pretty nourishing gloss, I guess. But they call it a lip balm, so that's why I included it. You know, if I were also talking about that category, I would talk about the Kosas, because I do feel like this wet lip oil still functions as a balm. But I digress. If you want to know about lip glosses in depth, I will link that video as well. Okay, the next thing that we have to talk about is the menagerie of Bite Beauty lip balm products. Bite Beauty began, and I believe has kind of always been, mainly about lip products, and they do a really, really good job formulating lip products. I love their foundation, their newish foundation and powder and everything. I think that that's a beautiful release as well. This is their newest version. This is the Agave Lip Tint Tin, and it actually comes in shades, and I just like that it's in metal because that's very eco-friendly. And then they actually sent me a bunch of this stuff, I want to say at the end of last year. It might have even been last summer. But this is the Agave Intensive Lip Mask. This is like an overnight lip mask. And then this is their, oh gosh, the name isn't on here, but if you know, you know. So this is like their little chapstick situation. And I really don't have very much left of it. I do use it. However, this particular product is a sore spot for a lot of diehard Bite Beauty fans because they reformulated it and they made it vegan and they took out the lanolin. And to a lot of people, that means that it is no longer effective. It used to be a holy grail solution to chapped lips for so many people, and I have even heard of some people like stockpiling the old formula, buying it on eBay, using it sparingly the way that you do anything that's been discontinued. I don't dislike this formula, but they're right, it doesn't really stick around. It's also bizarre. Like, that's just not a delivery system for a product of that consistency. It's too soft for that to be in a stick, if that makes sense. And you make it work, you do, but it's definitely weird. You can definitely see somebody pushing too hard the first time and just, you know what I mean? Like splat everywhere. It's not a bad formula, I do like it, but I also never used the old formula. I was in the dark on that, so I don't have anything to compare it to. And I do have other ones in my collection that I like better. This is just not one that has made enough of a difference to me that, you know, it stays in rotation. They also have one that's in a pot, same deal. It's very nice, the agave one that's in a pot. I actually genuinely don't know the difference between the two. Like, maybe they're just the same formula, but you know, one's a little bit thicker and put in a stick. I'm not really sure. But the same goes for all of it. They basically made their whole line vegan, at least all their lip stuff, I think. I'm not totally sure. But they took the lanolin out of all of it. So there's not a formula that satisfies that need to the old diehard Bite Beauty fans anymore. So the next one, and I kind of should zoom through these because they're all gonna be the same story. This is the Overnight Lip Mask. It works, but like, I put this on last night when I went to bed because it was the only thing I had handy, and I did it also to kind of make sure that my memory was serving before I gave you guys a review on it. This is a very thick, syrupy formula, and it's supposed to really, you know, coat your lips in this thick moisture barrier kind of thing. The problem is, you know, yes, it does that. It gives you a really thick, almost like Aquaphor kind of coverage on your lips, but at the same time, if anybody's ever used Aquaphor, you know that if you don't moisturize under Aquaphor, there's really no point. All it is like a big greasy barrier that'll keep whatever's under it in, but if there's nothing under it, it doesn't keep anything under it in. And so I feel like this is kind of the same way. It's very much a physical, occlusive kind of barrier, but it doesn't actually do a very good job of nourishing my lips. So I woke up to feed the baby at, you know, 2 in the morning or something after putting it on at like 10. And most lip balms that I put on before bed, I'm not like wiping them off on my sheets or anything. I will still wake up in the morning and I will still feel it on my lips, or at least in the middle of the night a few hours later kind of thing. And this was gone. So that's why I think it's kind of disappointing. And then finally, these just came out. You guys saw this in my Sephora haul video, and I believe that this is just the same one, but now they have shades in it. It's pretty, but it's so thin that I do still feel the glitter in it when I put it on my lips. It feels a little bit gritty. It doesn't have really any bounciness to it. It doesn't have any satisfying, again, quenching oiliness to it. And it doesn't really have a whole lot of staying power. And I got the shade Buzzed and I don't really like it. I'm gonna be honest, like, it's really pretty in the pan, but when I put it on, it's just kind of like orange and glittery, and I'm just not a big fan of it, so sorry about that. Those are all the Bite Beauty formulas. They are unfortunately not my favorite. Again, I love so many things from their line, and I think that they do a lot of really great things, and I'm glad that they went vegan. For a lot of people who only want to buy vegan beauty products, obviously we are grateful for that, but I have no moral objection to lanolin and beeswax, personalmente. All right. This is actually a new favorite, but what a favorite she is. So the Kosas Sport, I had tried the colored shades in it, and I found them to be a little frustrating because they are meant to be sport lip balms, and they have so much pigment to them that I felt like they made me look like a fool. You try and put them on without a mirror, and they're really pigmented, so they can be everywhere. And I never ended up trying the clear one. They didn't send it to me, they just sent me the colored ones. But they just sent me this one, and I got it in the mail right as I had just had the baby. So I've had a chance to use it a lot without really talking about it as much on my channel. So this is the Kosas Sport. It's a collab with a company called Flora and Bast, and so it is their 50 milligram CBD formula. I assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, I assume that this is the same formula as their regular Kosas Sport Clear, and that you don't have to buy the CBD formula to get it as, you know, nourishing as this is. That said, this works. And look at this. I really loved this. This isn't like gone or anything, but I mean, this has definitely gotten lots and lots of love because I carry it around with me all the time, like in my sweater pockets or my sweatpants or whatever, as I'm kind of bopping about the house, because this actually sticks around. It really, really nourishes my lips. It's lovely. It's just a night and day difference. A lip balm that works versus a lip balm that doesn't work. I definitely think these things are personal. I should kind of sidebar on this because, like, I don't know, there are a lot of people who swear by Burt's Bees. Burt's Bees does nothing for me. It dries my lips out. I think it's the menthol in it, and it just doesn't do its job. Carmex, which a lot of people say is like, you know, gross and what. Carmex was like always the thing that I used when I was a kid because it was what my dad used. And he was like you know, he worked construction. He was out in the elements and he swore by it, and then I swore by it. I loved it. It's a funky smelling product, and I think it has all kinds of stuff that we now know isn't that great for you in it. But I did, that was what I used, and that was what worked for me for so long. So again, I should have disclaimed this probably in the beginning, but a lot of the stuff is subjective. This is just what works for me. So I just took a quick peek at the ingredients, and what I was saying earlier proves out. This is not a vegan formula. This contains both lanolin and beeswax, and I can't help but think that that's probably the reason that it works for me. It's kind of weird though, because I do have a topical allergy to lanolin in other parts of my body. They gave it to me as a nipple cream in the hospital when my baby was nursing because his lips were getting dry, and I was like, oh, what can I put on his lips that's safe? And they brought me a tube of pure lanolin, and I put it on his lips. He was totally fine. I put it on my nips. Thought I was going to claw my boobs off. I was like, give me a baby wipe. I need to get this off of me as quickly as possible. Works on my lips and it makes me really, really itchy on my boobs. And that's all because your microbiome is different for every part of your body. Like, your microbiomes are different between each of your like elbow pits. Can you imagine the difference between like your lips and your nipples? Either way, I digress. This is a great and effective lip balm, and the Kosas Sport, just the regular one, also has the lanolin and beeswax in it. All right, and finally, I told you guys I have a favorite in this category. It was very easy for me to pick a favorite because it is truly the formula that works the best for me all the time, absolutely without fail. And that is why I continually burn through it over and over and over again. There are very rarely super easy answers in these situations. And this is a super easy answer, except for the fact that Glossier has been embroiled in scandal lately. Do with that what you will. I'm going to talk about the formula real quick. I brought here 4 of the Glossier Balm.coms. So this has both beeswax and lanolin in it. They have tons and tons of different flavors of it, but they're not really flavors, they're more scents. So my favorite of all of them is the coconut. It is clear and it smells heavenly. Some of them are clear, like the original is clear and matte, and I do have like a teeny tiny one of those in my car. Not really much point in like showing that to you guys, but this one is clear and glossy-ish looking. And this was the first one that I ever tried. It was what they sent me in my introductory package when they asked me to be a rep for them back in like 2017. And it has been my favorite ever since, not just because of the endearing quality, but just the smell of it is incredible. It doesn't smell like coconut, like sunscreen. It smells like toasted coconut. It's just lovely. And the next one that I tried from them, they actually sent this to me right when it was released, was the Birthdaybalm.com. This was initially a collab with the Momofuku milk bar, and it is their only one that is glittery, and it smells / slightly tastes like cake batter, and it's super lovely. And it's funny because for a long time that was my husband's favorite, and I don't think he realized that there was glitter in it. And when I told him that there was glitter in it, he said he didn't care. And this is his chosen favorite. So every time I get like a Glossier credit or something like that, because as a rep you get a credit every month, I will often stock up on these because they are really the thing that we burn through the fastest, me and my husband. They're everywhere all over our house, but we like have our favorites. Anyway, the mango is oddly my husband's favorite, and often I will kind of walk up to the baby and he smells like mango, and I'm like, somebody's been kissing on the baby, you know, which is just really, really cute. But anyway, this has a very, very strong fragrance of a mango, and it is only only slightly tinted. In fact, the swatch doesn't really show up. It's a very, very pale, look at that, like a rosy pink color. And it is also wonderful. I have berry around here somewhere. You guys, I went over the weekend and bought a large, tall Alex drawer set from IKEA. I am now officially a beauty guru. It was because I lost that Makeup by Mario lip gloss, which I still can't find, but I'm determined to organize this room. And I just went into my lip drawer and found this immediately. So the organization strategy is working. So this is the Berrybalm.com. It came out last summer and it is one of my absolute favorites in the whole line because it actually has such a strong pigment to it for a lip balm. And the wash of color is super flattering. It's so pretty and it smells, I mean, it's supposed to be berry, kind of smells like Dimetap, which is like one of my favorite smells because I'm crazy, but it does, it just kind of smells like artificial grape. And then this is their most recent one that just came out and it's called Wild Fig. I haven't really gotten a chance to use this one yet, but it is in a coral shade. It smells really, really nice too. There's Rose, which I don't have because again, it's matte. It was one of the like first, maybe second generation shade that's been out for a really long time. These are the most recent ones. These are the ones that we keep in circulation around the house. So the formula is gorgeous. It is so good. They actually say on the back of here, it says it's a universal skin salve and it says use on lips, on cuticles, on elbows, on your friend, anywhere that needs some love. And it's true. I put this on my cuticles. I have put it on my under eyes. I put it on my, obviously on my lips. I put it in my nose to help it heal. It is just the perfect combination of truly nourishing, bring your lips back from the dead, which is what we're really looking for in a lip balm, right? And staying power. I put it on at night, I wake up and I can still detect it on my lips when I wake up in the morning. It really sticks around. It is honestly an ingenious formula. And you know, it's cruelty-free, it's not vegan, those things are okay with me. And in the context of the criticism that Glossier has been receiving lately, I absolutely think that the criticism is warranted. I have spoken with representatives that, I'm in contact with at Glossier about the issue, and they have expressed to me that they are in tons and tons of meetings and things like that. So I think that they're on their way to doing the right things. I'm not sure that they're ever going to fully meet the demands of the group that's, ordering a boycott of them. And it does, just from a long view standpoint, kind of bring me to the question of like, yes, I understand holding brands accountable, and I don't aim to answer this question in this video, but I just kind of want to pose the question to you guys, since we're all, coming to the end of 2020, which is like a blur of exhaustion and being angry at things. At what point do we forgive a brand? At what point have they done enough? At what point do we feel like, our demands have been met or other people's demands have been met or anything like that? Like, do we wait to get permission from the people who originally accused them? Do we make that decision for themselves? Or do we just look at the brands and say, all brands are terrible, who cares? Like, I understand it's a controversial topic. I'm here to tell you that, unfortunately it's not an uncomplicated issue, but this is the best freaking lip balm formula on the market as far as I'm concerned. And I invite you guys to answer the question that I just posed in the comments below. I'd be interested to see your thoughts. And if you do want something that is similar enough, but I think more or less uncontroversial, the Kosas is great too. But yeah, I think that especially as we're moving into the cooler months, I hope that I was able to offer you guys some really effective and helpful advice from the experience I have in owning way too much of everything, as usual. And if you guys did enjoy this, give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below your favorite lip balm. What truly works for you and which ones have failed you, especially if they're ones that are like unpopular opinions, like I said about how Burt's Bees has just never done anything for me. Let me know that down below. Guys, if you are new to my channel and this is my first video that you are watching and you enjoyed it, do hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you guys did. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.